MTG Scoundrels. It's in the cardboard. Ladies and gentlemen, scoundrels of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Modern Weekly. Today on the docket, we have Lantern Control versus Soul Sisters here in the Modern format. Looks like Lantern Control is on 6 here. Soul Sisters taking advantage, and also on 6, but taking advantage of lifegain, as well as some of these newer Guide of Souls, etc. Ocelot Pride. And there's a ley line of hope. That's not something you'd see in Modern every day. Feel free to go back and pause. So it adds an additional life every time life is gained. When you're at 27, you pump the team. Lantern of Insight is going to reveal the top card of each player's library for the rest of the game that it's on the battlefield. Esper Sentinel and passing. Codex Shredder and Field of Ruin on top for both players. Of course, Lantern of Insight, the namesake card of this deck. There's a Llanowar Waste. Taking one going to 19 to cast Assassin's Trophy. That's going to target the Esper Sentinel here. Looks like the Soul Sisters player needing to figure out their life total. That will give a land to the Soul Sisters player, and a card will be drawn off the Esper Sentinel. I think technically Lantern Control got to see one more card, but in the end, not too big of a deal here. Looks like we got matching snow-covered plains for the Soul Sisters player. Solitude on top. That'll be drawn for turn. And there's a Skyclave Apparition. Sunken Citadel. Can't imagine that won't name anything other than white here. Yes, indeed. There is Guide of Souls. And there's Ocelot Pride. So 1 energy, 2 life. And now it's just a race against Ensnaring Bridge. No real energy counter, so I guess just using a plant token here. Moving to end step, finding another cat. Guide of Souls will trigger, gain an energy. And we're at 19 to 24. Codex Shredder being drawn, Pyxis of Pandemonium on top. There is a Verdant Catacombs. Gonna fetch away that Pyxis. It's probably Ensnaring Bridge or bust here. Land on top. We're at 18 to 24. There is a Pixis. Each player is going to exile the top card of their library face down. Leyline of Hope on top. And there's a Thoughtseize. Failure and Solitude in hand. Looks like taking the Failure. That'll bring us to 16 to 24. And there's the Codex Shredder. So empty-handed here for the Lantern control player. Ancient Stirrings on top. And Leyline of Hope going to hand. There's a Failure on top of the library. There's the fourth land. And slamming the second copy of Leyline of Hope. So this gets interesting here. 24 life. But the Ocelot Pride has first strike. So going to 27. And then dealing 10 damage with the Guide of Souls and the Cat. Thanks to +4/+4 from 2 Leyline of Hope. So that brings us to 5 to 27. Really shows the explosiveness of this deck. Granted, play MH3 cards and good things generally happen. And add a couple of Duskmourn cards in there for good measure. So both players figuring out the life totals. Codex Shredder is going to mill the top card, deciding not to draw the Ancient Stirrings, which with 3 lands makes a lot of sense. There should be another cat out there, by the way. So it would be at 33. But essentially it's Ensnaring Bridge or bust at this point. Cracking the Lantern of Insight. All right. That card. Not an Ensnaring Bridge. Game 1, going to Soul Sisters. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. We appreciate all of you that have subscribed recently. It's been a wonderful influx of new faces. So thank you so much for that. If you're coming here off of any of our recent videos of analyzing the results of the Pro Tour, or also going over the format in general on what deck you should possibly play, welcome. We've seen a pretty positive impact from those 2 videos. What we mostly do here on this channel is, in fact, modern gameplay commentary. We try to bring you new decks that we play around in our meta, and we appreciate all of you that tune in for that, and try to at least present it in a way that is professional and something you guys would enjoy watching. Moving into sideboards here, Lantern Control probably bringing in a certain amount of removal or more hand disruption. Though, really for them, it's just finding Ensnaring Bridge. If you find Ensnaring Bridge, you have a good chance of winning the game. Soul Sisters, bringing in a certain amount of artifact hate. You saw one Skyclave apparition, but according to this list, you can also possibly see Kataki's War Wage, or Kataki War's Wage, excuse me, which is pretty effective at clearing the board, but you would also probably see Wrath of the Skies coming in as well. Even though it may clear your board, that is a good way to deal with all the permanents of the Lantern control player. Moving into ads, definitely check out our friends over at Arcane Artistry, who happens to be our Lantern control player today. They make wonderful food clue and treasure tokens in the stained glass style. Check out their Etsy in the link below in the description. And they've been featured over on EDH, Hijinks, as well as the Spike Feeders. And of course, they are definitely our favorite tokens here as well. So check them out. And of course, check out our friends, hosts of the channel, Grove Warden Games, a wonderful place to storm out. Link to their website in the description below. And definitely check out our artist of our channel, Chandrar. Their Instagram up on the screen and their email in the description. They are open to new projects. Reach out to them. They made wonderful art for us and expertly shown in our videos that we just recently put up. And last but not least, check out our socials. We are at MTGScoundrels over on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Facebook. Love to interact with you guys there. And of course, leave a comment down below for decks you would like to see featured in the future. We're looking to get some Belcher on the channel soon, so definitely look out for that. Because, shockingly, kind of difficult to find Belcher players in the area. But we had somebody who was willing to go try it and pick up the card, so we might get them on the channel here soon. Also, let me know if you want more of those monologue style videos. I know they've done very well, but I'm not going to be one necessarily that's going to put up a big video about how Universes Beyond is ruining the format, or just ruining Magic in general. The great thing about Modern is you don't really have to worry about it too much, and it's fun to try out the new cards, but while 7 standard sets a year is in fact exhausting, just do what I do and play Goblins until morale improves. Alright, moving on here to game number 2. Both players going to 6. Pre-game actions, double Leyline of Hope. Alright. That's one way to start. Verdant Catacombs is going to get cracked here. Finding an overgrown tomb. That'll bring us to 17 to 20. There's an Ancient Stirrings. Looks like just finding a land and passing the turn. Sheffet Dunes for the Soul Sisters player. Another way to pump a wide board. Taking one into an Ocelot Pride. Saga into Codex Shredder. Into Pixis of Pandemonium. Starting off, exiling the top card of each other's library. There's a Field of Ruin. Interesting spot here. Going to 18. But then warping in a Halia Guided by Light. So gaining 3 life back, going to 21. Attacking for 1 with an Ocelot Pride, going to 24. And then moving to an end step, making the cat token. That'll gain 3 more life, going to 27. And Halia will warp out, but of course there is a card draw trigger as well. Oh, missed the card draw. Oh, nope, there it is. Oh no, missed the card draw trigger. Well, remember your triggers, friends. However, there are 2 5/5s on the battlefield at the moment. So that has some pressure. Mox Opal into Ensnaring Bridge. There is the card. The Lantern control player was looking for in the first game. Untapping. Playing a land for turn. Field of Ruin is going to destroy the Urza's Saga, which is a choice here. In some ways, hitting the Mycosynth Gardens might have been better. But being unable to go get Lantern is pretty good. Passing the turn. Codex Shredder, milling 1. Esper Sentinel going to the bin is a little unfortunate. Here's an Inquisition of Kozilek. There's a Starfield Shepherd and an Ephemerate. Starfield Shepherd. A wonderful card for these energy lists to be able to blink. To be able to go find their Pride or Guide of Souls, or just 1-drop. Ooh, Skyclave Apparition. Go into the bin. That's a bit tough. Untapping. Let's see what they draw here. Oh, that is a Witch Enchanter. So an answer in hand. Starfield Shepherd. Could go find a land. But instead it's going to go find an Esper Sentinel. Which in some ways is pretty good. You have Sheffet Dunes to manipulate your life total if a card gets stuck in hand for the Lantern control player. And while you're at 27 life, Esper Sentinel is a 5/5, so it makes it very difficult to pay the 5 for drawing a card. The Mycosynth Gardens is going to become a copy of the Ensnaring Bridge. There is another Mycosynth Gardens. Milling a Guide of Souls. Pix is getting activated, exiling the top card face down. Just passing the turn here. There's the Underworld Cookbook. Ooh, didn't see it. Oh no. You have to pay 5. So still going to get to draw a card. Codex Shredder getting activated. Pixis getting activated. Here's another Ocelot Pride. Ancient Stirrings. Drawing a card. Thanks to the Esper Sentinel. There's a Codex Shredder. Codex Shredder gets cast. Activating the Pixis. Activating a Shredder twice. Here's another Ocelot Pride. Passing the turn. Here is a Profane Tutor. Getting suspended. Pixis activation. 2 Codex Shredders. Oh goodness, there is the Kataki War's Wage. Upkeep. Kataki. Deciding to sack 3. 4. No, keeping those artifacts specifically. Drawing for turn. Putting a lantern in the bin. In a lot of ways, just trying to keep more stuff around. Oh, there's a Witch Enchanter going into the bin. Any land here is great for the Soul Sisters player. Here's a Recruiter of the Guard. Oh, that Esper Sentinel should be gone. Thanks to the Kataki's War's Wage. Unless you decide to keep it around. But more importantly, that Mycosynth Garden's not going to be able to copy the Ensnaring Bridge with the amount of mana that's out on the battlefield currently. There's a Skyclave Apparition. And that Esper Sentinel should be on the go here. Hard to read, but Esper Sentinel is in fact an artifact creature, even if it is a human. Passing the turn. Casting Profane Tutor off of Suspend. Though all the mana needs to be paid for first. Well, there might actually be a stacking issue here where Kataki, War's Wage triggers and then Profane Tutor triggers. Though that Esper... Okay, they say the Esper Sentinel is supposed to be gone. No extra card drawn for the Profane Tutor. So the Mycosynth Gardens is... Well, I don't think Bridge is supposed to still be there. Yeah, the Mycosynth Gardens does not stay a land, so it can't pay for itself. The Profane Tutor is going to happen. Also, you have to tap it for its activation anyway. Though at this point, I think there's no way out. You would need more than just... Well, if you search for a land off the Profane Tutor, you would need the next card to not be a dud. And I don't know what you find here. Hope it's not a 1-drop. Keep your hand, even if the Mycosynth stays on the battlefield. Or hope it is a 1-drop, so that way you have 0 cards in hand. Top card is Profane Tutor, and that'll do it. Game, set, match is going to go to the Soul Sisters player. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. And we will see you all next week.